Hello and welcome to another quick tutorial on all things Python for MS365. If you are not a student of mine and you happen to be someone that just kind of came across my channel, welcome anyway. Hopefully you enjoy some of the content and I will be happy to have you along for the ride, even if you're not a student at the university that I'm at. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you about a really commonly used function in Python called the print function. You've probably seen it a little bit before. It's really commonly used, but hopefully I'll be able to show you some additional features that are built into the print function, specifically things like separators and ending characters. And I also want to touch on something really cool called F strings, or specifically formatted string literal. So I'm going to jump in. I'm here in Google Colab, and I'm going to jump in by starting with creating a couple variables. So I'm going to create a variable or two. So we'll create a variable for my name. And I know that you can use either quotation mark here, but I prefer to do the singles. Okay, so we'll do my name, and we'll do our location, and we'll keep it a little vague. We'll just say USA. Okay, so I'm going to define those variables. So the first thing I have the ability to do is use a function called print, and I can just literally make it say anything I want by just making it a string. So the print function is pretty easy. The syntax is such. I just go print, and inside as an argument, whatever I want to put, I need to put inside these single quotation marks. So I could say simply, hello, my name is Jason. And whatever's inside these single quotation marks inside the print function, that's exactly what is going to print directly as you see it. Okay, easy enough. Now where things get interesting is, what if instead of typing my name in specifically, right? So I've typed in Jason inside these single quotation marks. Every time I run this, it's going to say the same thing. However, if I did something a little bit more robust, if instead of me typing the name Jason, if I actually put in a reference to the variable X instead, I could simply change that variable X, and then whenever I run something that references it, it's going to update that name. So it makes it a lot more dynamic. Okay, so instead of me having to type something else, say my name was Tony, if I wanted to go back, I would have to go through and say, well, print, hello, my name is Tony. And that's going to work. But if I made it more interesting, I could go up here and I could edit X if I reference X inside this print function. And then whatever I make that name, it's going to update every time I run each one of these. It's interpreted inside Google Colab. So I want to talk to you about how to do that. So there are a few things that are gotchas for people that are first getting started when working with Python, and specifically working with the print function. As you could probably figure, I couldn't simply just say, hello, my name is X, like so. Because if I do that, it's going to literally say whatever's inside these quotation marks. So if I say, hello, my name is X, it's going to actually say, no, hello, my name is X. So I have to do something in order to let it know that X is going to be a variable and not just the character X. Now there's a couple of ways to do that, and it really depends on what you're doing. So I want to show you those. I don't want to say there's an easy way and a hard way. There are two different ways. One is a little bit more robust depending on what you're doing. So let me give you an example. So one way that you can make this work is I could go in and I can say, hello, my name is, okay. Then notice that I went outside my single quotation marks here, see it? And then I added a comma, and here I could just do X. And now it's going to say, hello, my name is Jason. Now that seems like that's pretty darn easy, right? As long as I don't put that X inside quotation marks, it knows that that's a variable. Now that's not bad, unless you're doing something more robust with the print function. So when I say more robust, here's what I mean. There are some optional arguments that the print function has, specifically one for separators and one for ending characters. Now let me show you what I mean. So I have the ability with the print function to say, hello, my name is, okay. And then after that, I can do a comma, and I can then say Jason, like so. So now if I do this, anything I separate with a comma is just going to get concatenated into this string. So I could just keep going. I live in the US. And as long as I separate them with commas, it's just going to keep doing its thing. Okay. So now what makes it more interesting is, and I'm going to cheat, I don't want to retype it. So I'm going to copy all this, and I'm going to jump down here, is that I actually have the ability to define a special argument within the print function called a separator. So I can use this separator feature, okay, to separate each one of those strings that I plugged in that are already with commas with something. So let me show you what I mean, and it'll make it a little bit easier for you to see. So say I put a hyphen inside this. So I'm saying there's a separator, and I'm going to tell it that it is this hyphen. So when I do that, look what happens. So anytime there was a break inside my print function, right? So I said, hello, my name is, separated with a comma. Then I had another, I said my name is Jason, separated with a comma. And then I said I live in US, separated, or excuse me, not separated with a comma, but then going into the separator. So anywhere that there was a break in these strings, which I put in by separating them in commas, when I put in a separator, it automatically puts it, whatever that separator is, in between them. So if I did something like X, that starts to get things a little bit more interesting when you're working with the separators. So when in doubt, if you wanted to avoid doing these additional commas, right? So if you wanted to avoid adding or stacking strings separated by commas inside the print function, you have another option, and that option is called fstring. So here's what fstring is going to do for you. So I could take this entire thing like I had before. Or actually, you know what? I won't take the easy way out. I'm actually going to manually type it for you guys so you can see what I mean. So say I wanted to reference that, use that original reference that I created. So I'll say, hello, my name is X, and I live in the Y, right? Because X was my name, Y is where I'm located, right? So hello, my name is X, and I live in Y. So if I do this as it is, just like this, I'm going to get that. Hello, my name is X, and I live in Y. Okay, so I could get a little bit more creative, and I could start adding commas. So I could go here, then I could go there, then I could do this. Now I have to put this in here. I'm going to need to put this in here, then add a comma, then take that away, and I should, there you go. Hello, my name is Jason, and I live in the USA. Okay, that's great. However, if I add a separator, and that separator could be whatever, if I do that, then it gets weird again. Okay, so depending on the nature of what you're doing, adding that separator and using the commas to add multiple strings, it doesn't always work out the way you want it to. Enter something called fstring. Okay, so what is fstring going to do for you? So I'm going to type again. And I'm going to say, hello, my name is X, and I live in the Y, just like so. Okay. So if I try to run this, you know what it's going to do, right? It's going to say, hello, my name is X, and I live in the Y. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in front of that single quotation mark, but inside the parenthesis of the print function. Okay. So I'm right here. And while I'm in there, I'm going to type in F, which is F for fstring literal. So now I'm not quite done. What I'll have to do is then I'm going to have to jump in, and inside those parentheses, I'm going to add curly brackets around those variables that I declared. Curly bracket, curly bracket. Okay. So now when I run this, it's going to say, hello, my name is Jason, and I live in the USA. Now, why is this helpful? Well, if I were to add a separator, and that separator could be anything I want. So I'll just go like so. All of a sudden, that's not going to mess up anything. So if I have a long sentence, or if there's a lot of text that I want to return that has multiple sentences that would possibly need a separator, by using fstring literal, I don't have the issue with possibly having things that I don't want to appear inside my statement. Okay, so fstring, specifically it's formatted string literal. So now while I'm here, I have one other fun little thing to show you, which is there's an additional argument that you can add to the print function called end. So what the end is going to do, so if I do comma and I go end, okay, so if I add that in, what end is going to do is at the end of that string, whatever is inside this particular argument that I'm setting up is going to show up. So I'm saying, hey, whatever I've just spelled out here at the very end of it, put a period there. So it says, hello, my name is Jason, and I live in the USA. Nothing to it, my friends. The print function in Python. It is your friend. I know you'll use it a lot. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. You guys know how to find me. As the young kids say, please like and subscribe if you feel like this helped you at all. I do this because I really enjoy it. I'm happy to take some of my nerdiness and share that with the world, or at least with my current students. So with that, my friends, have a happy, safe day, and I will talk to you soon.